So welcome to my finished pages video for this month. So honestly, I was very motivated for New Book November because I really have a lot of books I haven't worked in so far, and I had tons of books on my list, and there were so many pages that I had ideas for. But sometimes life works in different ways, and this month it was the first time in, over 10 years probably, that I had a game that I was really typing and doing a lot of gaming. So therefore I didn't do a lot of pages this month, but I do have some stuff to show you. The first is a whip. I will probably finish this this week in my live stream. This is my current live stream project in the wonderful coloring book from Google Lee. Name is Colorful Time. This is one of two books he or she has, and I absolutely love these. They are such gorgeous books, and that's why I do have a second copy just for keeping as an art book to not touch. And luckily for me, this book here, my second copy, has on the title page an autograph from the artist. That was very surprising when I opened it, and I'm so happy about that. So yeah, in this, it is printed, those are printed on a special kind of watercolor paper. This paper needs a little bit different handling, but it works absolutely wonderful with watercolors. If you're working it correctly, it doesn't bleed through. And yeah, this girl portrait is nearly done. As I said, it is the current on-stream project. And at the moment we are doing this super fine hair lines. Still have to do that on this area. That was a new technique I wanted to try out. I've seen it from a lot of Chinese artists, and I thought a Chinese coloring book could be a great way to try to test this. It is done so far completely with watercolors. I've used Daniel Smith and White Nights watercolors, and to be honest, there was a lot of grayscale in this one, and I've done one of the grayscale pages in this book already, and I had a lot of problems with that. The darker the grayscale gets, the more water repellent the paper worked. But on this one here, I had no problems at all, and it took it was a little bit more work that it took the color, but it worked so well that yeah, I really thought I have to go over most of the areas with colored pencils. But yeah, I'm haven't done anything with colored pencils. It's completely done with watercolors, and I'm super surprised that it took the color so well, and that even with the grayscale you can really see the color very well. You don't have a dark mush of areas where you can't really see if it's a green or a brown. So that was very surprising. I'm really happy. So I still have to do this, and the eyes, the lips, the eyelashes and the eyebrows. But I think then I'm done. Sadly, I do have a little printing error here, and with watercolors only you can't really make it invisible. I would have been good if I have done a layer of white gouache over it before I started, but yeah, afterwards it was too late, so I now have to live with it, because with transparent medium like watercolors you really can't make it go away. So that's sad. I'm not sure if I have this printing error in my second copy or not, but yeah, that's my first WIP. I do have another WIP, but before I show you the WIP, some of you may remember that one of my on-stream project was the tiger in Imagimorphia by Kirby Rosanes, and that was the second time I tried working with oil pastels, and the paper here was absolutely terrible with the oil pastels. It looked patchy as hell, ugly, smudgy, and just not good. So I was unsure how to handle that, and the main problem was that I didn't know that there are different types of oil pastels, because I saw on other channels like Colored by Maya using the one from Mungyo. So I've bought a set from Mungyo and later realizing that it is called oil pastels, and the version Maya has is called soft oil pastels. So mine are a lot harder, and that is probably the main problem why it didn't work so well. Because they feel not like a soft pastel, it feels more like a wax crayon. So that's really hard to smudge and blend with your fingers. And then I thought, because I had a protective paper underneath that was rougher, and there the color sticked much better. So I thought putting a layer of gesso, with mine is has a very rough texture over that area, and then working with the oil pastels on top, and that worked really well. It looks so much better and smoother now. I've put on the gesso and then the oil pastels, and then go over it to fix it with the gloss glazing liquid, which was a mistake I wanted to have a satin glazing liquid. I honestly didn't know there are two different versions, and it was labeled as satin glazing liquid on German Amazon, and when I received it, it was a gloss glazing liquid. And when I've tried it for the first time, I was very glad that it isn't super glossy. It says gloss, but it has only a little sheen to it, so that's okay for me. Yeah, so that was a page that was already done, but I overdid the background again, and I'm now very happy with the result. And because I had so much of the gesso on my baking paper, and I not wanted to throw it away, so I thought if I had problems with one Kirby Rosanes book, then probably others will have a similar problem, even with that being the German version, and the paper is better than in my English versions because it's a little bit thicker. But yeah, I thought I will do a background layer with the gesso. And I did the title page because I had a lot of area here to cover, and that was perfect because I could use up all the gesso. And then I've gone over it also with the Mungyo oil pastels and fixed it with the gloss glazing liquid. But I think I will do, at least here in that area, another layer on top, just so that you can't see the letters anymore. Therefore, if you can't see the letters anymore, it won't look like a title page, but on like any other page. So yeah, with the gesso underneath, happily it didn't bleed through, because on the very first book I've ever used these oil pastels, I can show you, I had a bad surprise in the end. Luckily, it's like a little bit like a single-sided book. It's a Chinese coloring book, and it only has a little image always with items from the page. And here I hadn't done anything underneath, and maybe because of the oil in the oil pastels that seeped a little bit through, but yeah, you can see it's very blue, so the color bleeds through. So definitely that's a reason why in the future I decided to always put something underneath, either gesso or satin glazing liquid, or maybe the gloss glazing liquid. I don't know how well you can work on top of it with oil pastels, but yeah, because I don't want to happen something like that in another book, especially ones which aren't single-sided. So yeah, I'm still an absolute bloody beginner with the oil pastels, and because they are more hard and very hard to blend, the results aren't as nice as I've seen on other colorists' pages, but I don't want to throw them away, so I will use them up, and when they are used up, then I will always take a better look and only buying soft oil pastels for the future. I guess they will be so much better and easier to handle, and yeah, but because this takes so much work, and I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, maybe a little bit. You see how uneven it is, because in some areas there is a lot of color that sticks to the page and on others not so much. I'm not sure if that also is the case with softer ones, but this one, like I said, it doesn't blend as well, and if you are rubbing it also on some areas, the color just sticks and you don't get it moved at all, and in other areas it works very, very easily. So yeah, but yeah, I think if I cover that up and do this one, then in the end it will look like a very nice page. So those are the WIPs. Now to the finished pages. Like I said, I wanted to participate in New Book November. And the first one is in the Dover coloring book Goddesses by Martin Noble. And here I've done the title page. I've bought this secondhand, and it was one of my first secondhand books I've bought, and I later realized that it is missing a lot of pages, which is of course not so nice, because it's at a very good condition, and I mean most of the pages are in a perfect condition. Some have a little ball pen circle. I honestly, that is something I do not care, because it's not on the image. I had one image that was, I think, colored in, yeah, here, where I erased the areas and yeah, okay, that is done with a felt pen, but I think I will be able to work over that. But the main problem is that it is missing so many pages. It says 8 and the next is like 13, so there are a lot of pages already missing here. But yeah, still, like I said, it was an untouched book. I've done this with the Marco Raffine colored pencils, and because I'm working very, very hard, I work with a very hard pressure, and the last layer I always do a burnishing. So the very thin paper, it's like Amazon paper or normal copy paper, thin. It really got a lot of damage, because the Marco Raffine are very hard pencils. So for the future, I will remember to not work with harder pencils like that in books that have like normal copy paper. And the same goes for the oil pastels, because originally the background, I started the grass down here with oil pastels. You still can see my smudging from on the other side. But yeah, the reason why it looked so crumbled is because my oil pastels are so hard and you really have to scrub like mad. It totally wrinkled the paper, and also it, even with the gesso basing I've done on the paper, it just didn't stick enough on this paper. It was an absolute nightmare. So I remembered Maya saying you can always fix everything with acrylics, and I do have 2 boxes of very old acrylic, like metallic and color shifting colors. I've bought these so many years ago, before you could buy these color shifting flip-flop chameleon-like colors in watercolor. So yeah, I've used them like twice so far, and I thought, good, then let's fix it that way. So I've done the background completely with these cheap acrylic metallic colors from Magic Fly and Arteza. Like I said, the Mungyo oil pastels I have covered. Yeah, and the only other thing I've used is one gold gel pen from Hybrid for the stars here. And at least now it nearly looks like a normal page, because all the title stuff is now covered with the acrylics. Only this part of the G from the goddesses on her hand is still visible, that I wasn't able to cover up. I'm not really good with acrylics. That's, like I said, it's like the 3rd time I've used them. So a lot of the smaller detailed parts have gotten a little bit smaller because first of all, I don't have the perfect brushes for that. And also because, like I said, I'm not very trained with these. But I think in the end, it is a result that I can say it is acceptable. Not good, not perfect, but it is also not bad. I think it is okay. So at least it could be saved and not was ruined completely. And it is one untouched book less. This one here, which is called Fantastisches Malbuch, which is the translation would be Fantastic Coloring Book by Colin Thompson. It's from a German brand that makes normally more like games, like games for kids, like board games and stuff like that, and puzzles and so on. I don't know if they have any other coloring book, but yeah, this one I really, really love. Sadly, it is a lot of grayscale. That is really, and it is very dark grayscale in a lot of places. That's super sad, because I absolutely love these pages where you have these small areas with stuff like here, because you always could do just one part and say, okay, I have done a little drawing, because they are like drawing like small drawings on their own, and someday you have the page finished. I did this balloon with these tons of patches. That was the first page I did in November, and that probably is the reason why I also did not so many pages, because it took me so long. It took ages until I finished it. It also was a lot of grayscale down here, so I'm really surprised that you still can see the color on these lower patches. Of course, they are darker, but you still can see that some of those are red, purple, or yellow or so. So I'm happy that it is not completely dark down here. I've used the based everything with semi-art watercolors. The paper is really nice. It's nice and thick, so you can work with watercolor without any problem. Done, like I said, the semi-art watercolors for a base, and I've used the Schminke Horadam, the super granulating ones, one of those for the sky here. Then I've gone over everything with the Brut Funer colored pencils, the normal, not the wax-based ones. I have the big 260 set. And yeah, I did everything with that. And I looked for some autumn color palettes, and I found this one, and I did like that a lot. So I've done all the patches only with these colors. The only thing I did with blue was the book here, because there's a book in here. You find some little images like GB, because the author was born in Great Britain. I'm not sure why it is AUS, because normally, as far as I know, this shortage for the countries is Austria, which would be our neighboring country, but I do know that he moved to Australia. I'm not sure, or has AOS, is it really Australia, and Austria has only an A? I'm honestly not sure, but I know he's born there in Australia and moved to born in Great Britain and moved to Australia, the author. And yeah, here you have some small images hidden in like this gold plate, or the sign and stuff like that, like a little kangaroo, stuff like that, which I find adorable. Yeah, like I said, took me ages, but I'm really happy how it turned out, and happy that I've finally done a page in this book, because I had this one super high on my list to finally do a page in it. What I definitely find super amazing, the author is colorblind, and I do think that he colored all the images, as far as I understand the writing here in the end. Because for all of those that don't know German, it says ready or done. Then sit back on my favorite, what's that called? Not chair, but you know what I mean. He says that is mine, and it has to be green. And drink a cup of tea or coffee for relaxing your fingers and hand and arms that probably hurt from all the coloring, but don't expect any sympathy from because I have done all the colors. I draw them all with my hand, and probably colored them as well, because like I said, the grayscale wouldn't be there if you haven't done any coloring, I think. And that even with me being colorblind. So yeah, I thought I just mentioned that because not everyone would be able to read the German writing there. And I know we have very amazing translation programs today, but sometimes they don't translate everything perfectly. So yeah, my next untouched book was Serendipity by R.J. Hampson, and I absolutely love his style. I do have, I think, three of his books so far, and I definitely want to have all the other ones, because like I said, I really, really adore his style. And yeah, hope someday in the future I will have them all. The page I've did was A Room with a View. He has this first half of only line art, and then a slightly changed images with some black areas, like the room with a view, for example. On the light side we have the sun here, And here with all the black, he has a little moon in here. I think that's pretty cool because you have a second copy of the pages, but slightly different. And yeah, like I said, I did this page here, and I've done it completely with the 260 set of my Brut Funes. They have some metallic colors, and I normally never use them, but I thought this time I'm using those metallic colored pencils for the flowers here because I see them as a part of the frame from the window, and I thought maybe they are colored in some kind of metallic color. Also the little crown, and of course the moon and the stars out there, but those metallics are also part of the 260 set. Otherwise I wouldn't have them because honestly I don't like metallic colored pencils because most times they just look like a normal colored pencils with a hint of silver glitter in it. And if I really want to have something look like metallic, I'm using as my preferred medium metallic watercolors, or as a second medium like metallic gel pens or something like that, because I think that is much more metallic than those metallic colored pencils could ever be. But yeah, nevertheless, I think the result is quite nice. I tried to get the grass a little bit darker with this bluish green because of the night we are having here in the image. And yeah, I think it is a cute image, and I like the result. So yeah, my very first ever R.J. Hampson page, and yeah, hopefully there will be a lot more in the future. So the last page I did was in this little, I always call them chibi books because this is a series of A5 sized coloring books, Chinese coloring books from the same publisher. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's an orange, no, not an orange one. 6, and this is the number 7, I think. Yeah, that these are all the yeah, and these here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all the characters are all in a chibi style. Also all in these ancient China look with hanfus and stuff like that. So this one is a little bit different because it's not really a chibi style. It's also not in this ancient China style, but it translates to girls' land or girls' country, something like that. You have this beautiful holographic foil print on the front side, and you have like different girls in different situations, always single-sided. On the other side you have a little colored image of the girl, and you have some area where you can write down some notes from what you've used, for example, and you have partly already colored backgrounds and different colored outlines. That's one of my favorites, that one as well. I absolutely am in love with ancient Egypt styled coloring pages. There are not a lot of those, and I always do love them. So the girl also have names, and I colored the girl with the name Ruby. I based everything with semi-art watercolor. The paper is nice and thick, like in nearly all of my Chinese coloring books. They always have stunning paper and this special binding system where it always lays completely flat. Doesn't matter where you open the book. That's so amazing. I wish other publisher would do the same technique. So I've used my page for writing down everything I've used on this page, which number or exact color I used for which area. I've used the wax-based Brut Funa colored pencils. I have a set with 120, and I do love this page a lot. I think it turned out so well. Definitely my favorite page this month. I absolutely love how the roses turned out with these dark to in the middle to lighter. And I've tried a different technique here with the hairs for the first time. And I absolutely love how it turned out. Definitely will try to use this technique more often with hairs, because you see more hair strands and it looks much better that way. So yeah, absolutely happy how that turned out. The only other thing next to the semi-art watercolor basing and the wax-based Brut Funa was a white Posca pen, which I've used for the highlights on the eyes. I've redone the white dots because they got some of the other colors in it, as well as the white parts on her dress and the white pearls and some highlights like on the little cherries. Yeah, so that is the last page I've done this month. Like I said, a lot of gaming and not so much coloring, but because of that I thought I shared something else. I have this little book where I started last year to write down what I've used and what coloring pages I've done in which month. And I started out with these stripes of washi tape in between the numbers, and I didn't really like it. And then I thought, okay, maybe doing like similar colored washi tapes, but I still wasn't satisfied with it. And then I started going to really designing some sites with washi tapes, and then later added some stickers and other stuff I've gathered over the years. I have so many like beautiful washi tapes and stickers. The beautiful washi tapes I really don't want to use to make some borders when I'm do coloring or watercolor drawings, just because they are too nice to put them on and then rip it off and throw it away. So I thought I'd rather do something like that with them. And yeah, I've bought so many stickers over the years where I thought I could use them in coloring books or in my own drawings, and honestly it just never really fit in there, and it never looked really nice. So I started with that one, and honestly I got a little bit obsessed with doing that. So I've bought another super cheap, the cheapest one I could get, ring book with white paper, and just done stickers and washi tapes and tried to make the pages prettier and more interesting. And yeah, because funnily there aren't a lot of ring books to get, I thought buying a super cheap normal book, I'd try if that is also possible. And yeah, what can I say? It absolutely wasn't a problem. Of course, it gets a little bit thicker, but nothing really broke or so. So yeah, I thought I share this with you, so maybe some of you guys do also have a big collection gathered over the years with tapes and stickers and stuff like that, and they're just rotting in some drawer. So maybe yeah, just make some of your notebooks more prettier, and you can use it like I do for your coloring, for example, or of course for everything else. I nowadays do, for example, always in exchanging colors, one page with that color and then the next with another, so that I can easily see where the pages start and end. And nowadays I also do with my most loved Lamy what's that called? Oh, I totally forgot the name, but you know what I mean. It's the rose gold one. And then I write down all the color combinations from the pencils. What I've done in the book here on the page here, I normally do in here. So I do this now since I think 2 months or so. Since September, yeah, that's the first month I'd done it, to write it really down in here. Prior to that, I've done it on sticky notes, but the book got bigger and bigger that way, and you can't really read the other stuff. So I thought I do it in the future like that. Then you have written down everything, and even if someone sees a video and asks me like 2 years later what pencil combination I did use on that exact page, I can always look it up and tell the person what I've used. So, or also for myself, if I remember, or I had on that page that and that color combination, and I really liked it and I want to redo it, then I easily can read it. So that was what I thought would be helpful for me in the future. And even, yeah, if the books get really, really big, they are still, yeah, it still works. It doesn't break or anything. And yeah, I'm really having fun doing those. That book was entirely done this month and in October. So yeah, I thought that is something I wanted to share. And if any one of you has any questions to that, or says that you want to have a video just about how I do these pages, or do some of the pages in a video so that you get some inspiration or so, then yeah, just let me know in the comments. Then I can easily do a page. That's the one I'm working on currently. Those pages are the newest ones. And yeah, it's also nearly finished already. So yeah, I thought because I've done not a lot of pages, but I was doing a lot of creative stuff next to gaming. That's why I thought I will share these as well. And yeah, as always, I hope the video was interesting, and thank you so much for watching it. I very appreciate every like and follow, because it really helps me in the channel a lot. And yeah, hope you have a wonderful day, and hope to see you soon in another video. Bye bye, take care.